Hi, it's Mike DelSignore, Massachusetts OUI lawyer. Today's video, I want to talk about what you should do the morning after your OUI arrest, what to do next, how to understand what's going to happen in court and what your options are. I often get the call the morning after where people are wondering what's going to happen on the first court date. I'm going to go over all those things with you right now. I've been doing this for 20 years, been helping people make the best decisions for themselves on how to win, defend, and get their license back after an OUI. So first start with, if you took a breath test over 0.08, you'll be able to drive in 30 days. Schedule that hearing immediately. So first thing is your license is not going to be suspended for a very long time if you took a breath test. If you refuse the breath test, the downside is there's a 6-month suspension. You don't have the police report. You haven't been to court. So you can't really determine if this is a winnable case. So be patient. Know that without a breath test, it's possibly a very good case and you'll be found not guilty of OUI. The downside is you might have to find a way to get a ride to work for 6 months. In other words, it's hard to get a quick trial. If we can get a fast trial, you might be able to get back on the road prior to 6 months. But I'd count on 6 months because a lot of times trials get continued. So better to plan for 6 months than assume you're going to be back on the road quicker. But the good thing is you have a really good chance of avoiding an OUI conviction. Now, let's say the report is, you go to court after and you find out the report is bad or you don't want to fight the case. There is a way to get back on the road with a refusal. 2 ways. 1, if you can get a letter from work, you possibly get a hardship with the RMV. Or 2, if you can't get a letter from work, you'd have to go to the appeals board. But that's going to take probably 3 to 4 months to get to the appeals board. So that's a longer process. So 2 things. You can get a hardship with the RMV on a refusal, and there's a method to do with the appeals board. Now, if there's an accident or if you have a bad driving record, you probably get denied at the RMV. So keep in mind, the RMV doesn't grant every hardship. So your first court date, you're probably wondering what's going to happen in court. It's not the trial, it's the arraignment. You're going to be notified of the charges, given another date to come back for what's called pre-trial. At the pre-trial, you'll get additional evidence. Now, the most important evidence in an OUI case is the booking video. That will come probably 90 to 120 days after the arrest. You're not going to get it at the arraignment in almost all courts. So you'll get a report and you'll be able to start going it over with your lawyer. So when I handle these cases, I'll walk you through the strengths, the weaknesses of the case. We'll discuss your personal situation. How's this going to affect you? How's it going to affect your job? You don't have to notify work. A lot of people wonder that. Unless your job requires you to notify them, which is not most people, you don't have to notify work. This is a misdemeanor offense, not a felony. Finally, you're not likely to get jail time. You probably have read that online, that there's a possibility of up to 2.5 years of house of correction. That it would be very rare, very unusual. So I wouldn't worry about jail time. Almost everyone, even after trial, will get the minimum punishment, certainly no jail time in 99.9% of these cases. So keep that in mind, that one misdemeanor, not likely to get jail time. First court date's going to be arraignment, not your trial. Those are common things people wonder. Future court dates, you're never going to have to speak. I get this question a lot. Am I going to have to speak at the pretrial? The only time you'd ever speak about the case is if you testify at trial. So if you want more information and want me to go over your report, be happy to do so. My name's Mike DelSignore. Call, text me anytime at 781-686-5924.